Welcome and good morning. Thank you for joining me. We're here today in the picturesque Biscathorpe, just outside of Louth. It's a very misty day, but it's very quiet, it's very peaceful. So we're here today to catch some crays, but also today, and I'm very excited for this, to do my first catch and cook on camera for you guys. I've done one catch and cook beforehand. I did that up in Louth. But that was just filmed privately for me and my friends. But this is the first time I'm going to do it for you guys, so I'm going to go to great length today to try and get some good footage for you, get some crays being caught on film, get some cooking done, find a nice beautiful spot to do a cook up, and then crack on. So without further ado, I'm going to get my kit together, get myself all packed up, and we're going to west it and find myself a good cray spot. Alright, so just before I set off, and just while I'm getting everything organised, I just thought I'd quickly take you through what I've brought with me today to do my catch and cook. So starting with the actual cray stuff, so I've got my bucket as usual, and then in my bucket I've got my bait, my smoky bacon, some twine, black wool, and then my net bags for my bait, and then never leave home without it, the trusty, highly sophisticated bent coat hanger hook. So, and apart from my knife, my pike knife, which I'll be taking with me for cutting the twine and stuff, that's pretty much it for the cray stuff. And what else have I got with me? I've got my camera stuff, so there's my camera bag and my tripod, which my partner has very kindly lent me, thank you Amanda. And for the cooking, I've got just under 5 litres of water. Now you don't necessarily need this much water for cooking small amounts like this. I just like to have a lot of water with me so I can keep rinsing them out to make sure they're nice and clean. And then I've got some Wilko Special anti-bat wipes that I'm going to use for cleaning surfaces once I've had raw crays and stuff on. Then I've got my tools for eating, I've got my mini hammer and my nose pliers, little chopping board, and then I've got my two billy cans. So this one I'm going to use for holding the stock once I've boiled them off, you know, like I showed you in the video before. And in there I've just got my miniature Coleman butane canister. And then in my big pot I've got the pan that comes with the smaller billy can, pan that comes with the bigger one. And then in there I've got my ingredients, and I've got my Coleman stove in there, which I've showed you in a previous video. Also in that bag I've got some paprika and some salt, and a few other little bits and bats like carrier bags and bin liners and stuff, just to help keep my stuff dry. But yeah, that's it. So let's get everything packed up, get it all done, and we'll get wested and find ourselves a spot.
Leading up to today, my original plan was to search a stretch of river I had very briefly searched on a previous visit, and in a short space of time got some decent sized crays out. However, when I arrived at the stretch of river that I'd already fully searched, a few key factors jumped out at me that got my cray senses tingling. I wanted to do a bit more of a search, check out a few other spots, and then possibly make a change to my plan.
Right, well I was going to try a spot further upstream today, but as I've come down here to a spot I've visited before, I've noticed that although there's a lot of murk in the water, because the water level's up, it's exposed more holes. Sorry, not exposed, but brought more holes into the water, making more hidey holes. So what I've done is I've just tied a bait up, because I'm just going to try it very quickly in this corner, just to see if I can get out from this corner, and then we'll move on further downstream and I'll take you with me.
So after trying a few different spots and only managing to tempt out little ones, I decided to get some nice shots for my intro and then head to my originally planned spot. But then this happened.
So I'm walking down, I'm just getting ready to set my camera up to do a bit of B-roll, and I see a shadow in the water. It looked a very suspicious looking shadow, so I looked at it a bit closer, and what do I see? Just waddling up the river. Boom. First decent sized cray of the day. I'm going to get a bit closer and show you. There we go, some good eating in them claws. Right, what have we got here? We've got a male, look, see his pleopods going up the middle there? Them two there, it's a male, and as you can see, red claws, white knuckle joint there, marks him out as a signal, and then of course the smooth plate on the side of the thorax. Bonza. Well, still in the same spot. While I was tying off that one's claws that you just saw me catch, I just thought I'd chuck the bait into open water since I've got a few minutes to chill here, because usually if you put it in open water you need to leave it for a little while. So I've tied that one off, I've put him in my bucket, gone back to my bait, and it's surrounded by them. And amongst them was yet another good sized cray. I'll get a bit closer so you can see. Here we go, another one with good sized claws on it. What we got here? We've got another male. And pleopods up the middle. Red claws, white knuckles, smooth thorax, bonza.
So it was finally time to head to my originally planned spot after catching a number of good sized crays from that area. However, there was one other spot, one area that I wanted to check. So while I waited, I thought I'd tell you a little story. Call it a cautionary tale.
Right, so I've just come back to a spot where I've had a couple of decent sized crays before. I've put a bait in, and just while that bait's in I thought I'd tell you a little story. So a couple of trips back I found this spot and I was busy working up and down this edge. I'd seen this fence, but I just thought it was a regular wire fence. So anyway, I'm working my way up and down, and just up there behind me I was laid down on the ground. I was watching two crays on my bait, and all of a sudden it felt like someone had taken like a rubber mallet and just whacked me on top of the head. And obviously I've got a cap on with a metal button on the top. So obviously I've got too close to this fence and it shocked me. And it honestly felt like someone had hit me on the head with something. And instantly I was like, oh, Jesus. And then other such expletives that I can't really say right now. And that's when I realised that this is in fact an electric fence. So if you're out and about, guys, and you see a metal fence, just be careful, yeah. Don't make my mistake. Right, well sometimes it's worth taking a hit to get your hands on that bigger cray. Right, you see that little line of blood there? And then that there. Bearing in mind I've cleaned it off and wiped it off, so there's nowhere near as much blood as there were. But basically, I've seen this decent sized cray on my bait, so I've gone to grab it and it swum off. But as it swum off, I've seen its claws turn, because it's turned upside down in water and it's come to the surface, and I've seen it flash at red of its claws, so I've dived for it. I've grabbed hold of it, but unfortunately I've got hold of it by the front, and yeah, one of its claws has clamped straight down on my finger, and this ain't no little one. Let me show you. It's a bruiser. Tell you what I'll do. Might be a bit wonky, so bear with me. Turn it round so I've got a bit better light. There we go. Size of that bad boy. And as you can see, the two swimmerettes going up the middle there, that's a male. Red claws, white knuckles. But yeah. And then look, smooth plate on the thorax. Marks him out as a signal. Bonza.
After a number of hours in that spot, I'd managed a good bucket of decent sized crays with a few proper units. Unfortunately, I didn't get half as much footage as I wanted from that area, but by this point I was absolutely starving and I had only one thing on my mind. So back to base camp to find us a nice spot and get the cook on.
So, welcome to my little hideaway. This is the area that I've chosen to do my cook up today. So it's been a good morning. I didn't get as much footage as I'd like of the actual catching of the crays, but to be honest, I came across so many that were of a decent size that I just got excited and just got stuck in. And yeah, we've got a good, I don't know if you can see it from there, but we've got a decent bucket of crays, enough to go in this billy pot. So, ladybug on my billy pot, I didn't want to cook him. So I'm going to get everything checked up, get these crays prepped, get them on the boil. I'll bring you in once they're on the boil and show you everything set up, and then we'll get to the good bit, the eating. See you soon.
Into this mix we've got a lemon, an onion and some garlic, all cut into chunks. with a few other condiments.
Right, that's all my veg prepped, so I'm going to do the dispatching and sorting out of the crays. I'm not going to show that bit on film today, because if that's something that you want to see, if you want to know how to prep them and dispatch them, then go for the previous video. So I'm going to get these guys ready, get them in pot, and we'll see you there. So I just wanted to bring you in and show you this one. Look how blue that is underneath it. I don't think I've seen one with so much blue on it. It's good sized claws as well. Right, so that's all my prep done. Got my crays ready to go. Got my pot on, veg ready to go. I've given everything a sterilise and a wipe down with some wipes and some alcohol. So yeah, it's just a case of getting boil on now, which I'll start off. Right, so in go my veg. Salt, a lot of salt, a lot of smoked paprika. No need for the shaker on this, just whack it in, get it in there, lad. Right, I need to just give this a wipe first. And use my knife to give that a stir up. All that paprika in there. Yes, yes, yes. In hindsight, I should have put my paprika in first. Right, so for those of you who haven't seen my previous video, all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this water to a boil, and then once it's to a boil, put the crays in, bring it back to a boil. Once it's to a boil, then turn it down to a simmer and simmer it for 2 minutes. So let's get that set off. And we are cooking with gas. Right, so we're at a rolling boil now. So let's get these crays in. Now I'm going to put the bigger ones in first. There you go. Nice tasty crays. May possibly put a bit too much water in here. Yeah, I'm going to have to tip some of that water out. Damn it. Good. Tip a little bit of water out. Can always put some more water in. Slight malfunction today, but we're back on track. Oh no, you should go in there. Right, let's get that back to the boil. Great stuff. Right, bring that back to the boil. Now what I've done as well today is I've dug a little pit here that I'm going to put my waste in. So my skins from the veg, most of it, and then the carcasses as well. I'm going to bury them today. That way then worms have got a nice free feed. So that just needs to come back to the boil. Turn the heat up actually. Yeah, bring that back to boil and then I'll let it simmer for 2 minutes and I'll bring you back in on the eating. So I'll see you then. Right, so we've been at a boil for about 2 minutes now. Let's get these bad boys served up. Right, where's my other pot? Here's my pot for my stock. So I'm going to tip some of my stock into this pot. Turn the heat off that completely. There we go. Right, so let's tip some of the broth out. That'll do. And there we have it. beautiful pot of crays. Right, let's move this bamf out of the way. Oh crap. Move my table a bit closer. So, it's been a brilliant day. I've been out here since about 5:30 this morning. Checking the time. It's now 10 to 2. So I did have a bit of breakfast this morning in the way of a couple of breakfast biscuits and a Red Bull. So other than that, this is pretty much all I've eaten today. So man, am I looking forward to this. You have no idea. Right then, I think we should start with this tasty looking claw. Oh, it's red hot. Oh, might let that cool down a little bit first. I've got an idea. So I put some cold water in there, and I can just drop it in there, just a little bit, just to cool the shell down. Bonza, that worked. Right. Break the little claw off, much with the lobster. Break the little claw off, like that. Give it a shake. Right. Oh, the waste can go straight in there, actually. And then I'm just going to take my little hammer, very gently, just tap until it cracks. And do the other side. There we go. Should now be able to just labour of love. Oh, here we go. There we go. And there we have it. One beautiful piece of claw meat. Cooked. Outdoors. Freshly caught and cooked to perfection. Oh my god. Guys, if you haven't tasted crayfish yet, you need to get yourself out there and get some of these tasty little mud bugs, because they are so good. Right, as I've done in the previous video, you just break the tail off. Apparently all the stuff in there is edible, but I really don't like the look of it. Get them off. Break the tail off at the back. And then take all of it belly up and squeeze until it all cracks. Get the stuff all over your hands. And then it should just break open like that to reveal a beautiful piece of fresh crayfish tail meat. Whoa, that's still boiling, Martin, be careful. Huh. It just does not get better than this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think next on the list is I need to do some kind of fish. There's a trout lake not far from me, where you can either pay for catch and release, or you can pay to keep something that you catch. To be careful with this one. There's a bit of blackness there. Right, it looks like this one's been injured at some point. There's a little bit of blackness there, so I'm just going to take that off because I don't like the look of that. So good. So good. Oh, I got the knuckle meat out with that one, look. I actually got the knuckle meat on the end. tasty meat. Seriously tasty meat. Oh, that was a good one. I think I've sussed it now. Oh. Oh, you can really taste that lemon, garlic, onion and paprika. Really gets into the flavour of the meat. Makes it delicious. Right, them the knuckles are quite big, so I think I'm going to have a crack at them. Right, that's where the nose pliers come in. For getting any knuckles that are big enough, I've got a decent bit of meat in them. These nose pliers make it easy work. And a lot easier to get the meat out in one. Nice bit of knuckle meat, love it. Got your weird fly. Yeah, it's the only problem eating outdoors, you're going to have to share your meal. Tail off. How is that? Ha! Right, that, I don't know if you can see that, but that string of it, that is bacon fat that this young man has stripped from my bait and then pulled in and started digesting. I wonder if that's going to make a difference to the flavour, actually. So good. Oh, this one looks cooked well. This one looks cooked really well. Yeah, it's weird. Some of them seem a little bit overcooked, and this one seems just right. I won't know until I taste it. Oh yeah, this one's cooked just right. I can tell straight away with the way the meat's staying together. It's actually a really nice, for such a small crayfish, that's actually a really nice piece of tail meat. Oh. Oh, tasty little mud bugs. Good bit of meat in that knuckle, I'll have that. Right, if I suss this right, cracks on the other side, and then boom, that's better. Beautiful. Oh, that claw meat. Claw meat is by far the best bit. Don't get me wrong, the tail meat's nice, but it just doesn't compare to how tender that claw meat is. Mozzie. Beggar off. Beggar off. Wow. Right. So, I'm going to smash the rest of these crays off, and then I'm going to bring you in at the end, do a bit of an outro. So, I'll see you in a few. Right, well, colour me stuffed. I've smashed off them crays now. I've got all the carcasses in the pit. And I'm so happy with how it's gone today. There's so many levels of satisfaction to this. There's the fact that I've caught them, prepped them and cooked them so they're as fresh as you get. there's the satisfaction of doing it all out here in this beautiful setting, and then on top of that, there's an extra layer of satisfaction in the fact that I'm helping our native crays by going out and catching these guys and eating them. I'm helping our waterways by going out and catching these guys and eating them. So it's so satisfying, and I highly recommend it to anybody to get out there, catch yourself some crays, and have yourself a cook. Now, I did plan to let my dinner settle a little bit and then go for a walk. Take you guys with me because this is a pretty cool forest, this. But unfortunately, I can just hear the forecast torrential rain coming. So I'm going to get camera and everything packed up, get everything sorted, and get off home. So thank you very much for joining me today, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, please let me know. Any criticism is welcome. Give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. If you haven't enjoyed it, or you have something you disliked about it, feel free to give it a thumbs down, but please tell me why so I can do better for the next time. But other than that, guys, stay safe. Get out there, catch yourself some mud bugs and have a fantastic meal. And yeah, I'll see you on the next adventure. Peace.